Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Everything College Football Podcast. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 non-conference games in CFB for 2022. The offseason, it's nearing its prime as we're inching closer and closer to August 27th, which will officially kick off the 2022 CFB season. This year features numerous non-conference clashes that will have playoff implications, along with some other games that mean a lot for respective fan bases and for respective conference prestige. Look at number 10. Speaking of respective fan bases, West Virginia and Pitt. The Backyard Brawl is back after an 11-year hiatus, and what better way to introduce the younger fans to this phenomenal series than to have it on the season opening Thursday night on September 1st. This is a battle of former USC teammates as JT Daniels reunites with Graham Harrell while Keaton Slovis replaces Heisman finalist Kenny Pickett. So not just a battle of former USC teammates, but former SC quarterbacks that both played under Harrell. The Panthers have a fierce defensive line led by Kalijah Cansey and Habbo Baldonado, but speedback and Clemson transfer Len J. Dixon could be the great equalizer. WVU owns a 3-game winning streak in the series. They won from 2009 to 2011. That's the last time this one was played. Before the last 5 meetings were decided by 5 points or less. This is going to be a fun one on Thursday, the first Thursday night of the season. Can't wait to see West Virginia take on Pitt. Look at number 9, Florida State and LSU. This is a big-time game for the Tigers as they kick off a new era on a Sunday night in New Orleans. Mike Norvell and the Seminoles are coming off an impressive offseason where they landed a handful of notable transfers and recruited quite well. That will all be overshadowed by the immaculate portal work by that of Brian Kelly. The Tigers roster is completely revamped and still have plenty of leftover stars, though, in Baton Rouge, like Kayshon Boutte and Allegier. This is a big night for LSU, and the Noles look to play spoiler, kind of like they did last year at home versus Notre Dame. Well, you should be in store for, I think, a thriller on opening weekend. LSU should win this. I think FSU will be up to the challenge. Number 8, Cincinnati and Arkansas. This would have been a splendid matchup a season ago as the Bearcats turned in a 13-1 mark on the way to the playoffs, while Arkansas won its most games since 2011. Luke Fickell turned down numerous lofty jobs this day at Cincinnati, and regression won't be as heavy as expected, at least in my estimations. This is an opportunity to prove that, though. Cincinnati stays stout on the offensive line, while speed remains in the receiving core. Trey Tucker, Tyler Scott, those guys are back. Veterans on defense, though, Javon Hicks, Arnquan Bush, and then Miami, Ohio linebacker transfer Ivan Pace. He'll join his brother Deshaun in the middle. The Hogs, on the other hand, they have one of the most underrated QBs in CFB, in KJ Jefferson. He brings a strong, hard-nosed running game with him. This should be a great game on the first Saturday of the season. Number 7, Oklahoma, Nebraska. This is a make-or-break year for Scott Frost. There's no better way to reestablish faith in the program than knocking off bitter rival and contender Oklahoma. The Cornhuskers went 3-9 last season with what was likely Frost's best team during his tenure, and departures on defense will make 2022 an uphill climb, but Luke Reiner and Nick Henrich at linebacker still anchor down the middle of this defense. Dylan Gabriel reunites with Jeff Lebby. For Nebraska, they have a familiar foe under center in Casey Thompson, who utterly shattered the Sooners' defense a season ago in the Red River rivalry. This is Nebraska's best opportunity to knock off Oklahoma, I think, as they lose a lot of players, new coaching staff early on in the year. A sea of red will be rocking in week 3 to witness it. I think Nebraska-Oklahoma is going to be a phenomenal matchup here at number 7. Number 6, Coastal Carolina and Virginia. This is a more underrated late-season contest, but I think the Chanticleers, when they head to Charlottesville to match up with Tony Elliott and the Cavaliers, can contend and potentially even win this game. This contest should see a ton of offense as Brennan Armstrong, he threw for over 400 yards per game a season ago, also scored 39 touchdowns. Well, the Chanticleers ranked 5th nationally in scoring, led by a versatile QB, Grayson McCall. He leads a dynamic running game as well. You're going to see a lot of points in this one. November 19th, late in the year, more underrated. I think this is going to be a really good ball game. Number 5, Miami versus Texas A&M. On September 17th, a new look Hurricanes led by Mario Cristobal, Tyler Van Dyke, and a flora of young talent will look to make a mark when they travel to Aggieland in week 3. The Aggies are as big and nasty as they come in the trenches with guys like Shamar Turner and Bryce Foster, while overall A&M had 7 players land in the SEC all-freshman squad a season ago. A year they also beat Bama with all this young fresh talent, so A&M's going to be hunting down a playoff berth this season. Max Johnson or Haynes King at quarterback will give them an upgrade, I think, over Zach Calzada from a year ago. And their jobs are going to be quite easy, I'd say, this year with Devon A-Chain in the backfield. He's as explosive as they come, running behind a sturdy offensive line. This game features plenty of notoriety, and it's a big deal for both programs. What a heck of a way it would be for Mario Cristobal if he could come up with this win in week 3 This is a kind of an underrated contest. No one's really been talking about this offseason, but this is going to be a great game to watch. And again, that notoriety makes it just much bigger. On October 8th, BYU will play Notre Dame in Las Vegas. BYU is going to be a legit playoff contender in 2022. They get back all 11 starters on defense, one of a strong and sturdy offensive line, with an impressive dual-threat quarterback in Jaron Hall heading the charge. Notre Dame still has plenty of talent for Marcus Freeman to work with, and both sides of the trenches got better down the stretch after slow starts in 2021. The Irish matchup with the Cougars here, again in Vegas, which isn't too far of a drive from Provo, and if both teams win early on in the year, this could be a playoff or a New York Six bowl game eliminator. I expect plenty to be on the line in Cincinnati come October, even if Notre Dame has an L already in the column from week 1. Number 3, Utah, Florida, another one of those great September 3rd matchups we have that kick off the college football season. It's incredibly rare when we see a Pac-12 SEC showdown, but we get one to kick off the season as the defending Rose Bowl champions take on the Gators in Billy Napier's debut in Gainesville. Utah is expected to rank inside the top 5 come the preseason, but all that offseason hype will be put to a test when they head to one of the toughest road environments in all of college football. There isn't too much to be excited about when it comes to the Gators this fall, but Anthony Richardson, he's going to get plenty of attention with his arm talent mixed with the elite running skills he has. Can a disciplined Utes defense contain him? I can't wait to find out. Newly acquired Utes linebacker Mohamed Diabate, he is also a former Gator, so a little bit more extra there on the line. Florida, I believe, is actually favored in this game also. They got plenty of young talent, Irvin Dexter, Jason Marshall, so this should be a fun game. Florida, Utah, again, another game with plenty on the line. A big-time opportunity for the Pac-12 to earn some respect. Currently, though, they are underdogs. Number 2, Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Again, September 3rd, Ohio State's star-studded offense opens the year versus a Marcus Freeman defense led by Isaiah Foskey and Brandon Joseph. C.J. Stroud coming off an elite season where he carried this team at times and ran up to 4,400-plus yards and 44 touchdowns. Jackson Smith, Nick Jigba is without a doubt the nation's top pass catcher. Travion Henderson was one of the top impact freshmen from a season ago at running back, but the only problem is the Buckeyes couldn't stop a soul on defense this past season. Jim Knowles, though, he's coming over from Oklahoma State. They led the nation in sacks. They were top 10 in numerous other categories. Phenomenal year at OK State for Jim Knowles. He wraps up a 3 or 4 year tenure there. Comes over to Columbus to correct some issues. I'm not holding my breath, though, for an immediate turnaround, especially with a new scheme. Personnel's still a bit of an issue. ND, though, they got much tougher on the offensive front as the season went on, led by Jarrett Patterson at center. If the lack of toughness carries over to this early September clash, and I think Notre Dame will have no issues taking advantage of that. This is going to be a lot closer, I think, than people are thinking. I think Ohio State right now is currently like a 14-point favorite. If we see some of the same issues as last year, Notre Dame will take advantage of that without a doubt. Number 1, Alabama and Texas. September 10th, week 2. This game was already circled as Nick Saban and Steve Sarkisian square off after a dominant 2020 season for the duo where they won a national championship. Bryce Young and Will Anderson, they're going to be as focused as ever as they look to avenge last season's loss in the national championship game. But the Horns have some talent of their own that will leave a mark this fall. Bijan Robinson and Xavier Worthy, they quickly became household names. With Quinn Ewers, he's ready to introduce himself to the college football world. There's no better way to do so than to put up numbers on Alabama in your second career start, and that's exactly what Ewers will be doing here in week 2. This will be his second start for the former number 1 recruit. Ajayi Hall, though, heading to Austin after a bumpy 1-year stop in Tuscaloosa adds even more intrigue to this matchup. The former disgruntled Crimson Tide pass catcher heads to Austin to play for Texas. This is going to be a great matchup, big-time opportunity for Sark and Texas to get on track with a big win here against the national championship favorite. So that's going to wrap everything up for today's episode, guys. Plenty of games we didn't have on here, like Auburn and Penn State, for example. There's a lot of great non-conference games this year. Can't wait to see what's in store for this season, especially early on in the year. A lot of great matchups. So that's going to be it for today. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment who we missed. See you next time.